Hi everyone, my name is Barbara. I'm the owner of Spanish for Kiddos, and today I want to show you a few options that you can do when you are learning about either the weather, the seasons, or maybe you're learning about Spanish clothing vocabulary. So one of the things I have here is this cute little book, and it's called a mini book, but it's just because it is kind of tiny, but it's got plenty of activities in there that we're going to go over. So let's begin the story. En otoño las hojas de los árboles caen. In autumn the leaves fall. El viento sopla las hojas. The wind blows the leaves. And here's where you can circle in regards to page number 2. So it says, ¿Cuántas hojas vuelan en el viento en la página 2? How many leaves are blowing in the wind on page 2? So this is one of the types of books that you can either read it front to back, or you can actually stop and do the activities like I'm going to do now. So here's where you can go in and start counting what those are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so where is that 8? Where is that 8? And it is right here, the number 8. So you can do something like that there. En invierno hace frío. In winter, it's cold. And here's where you can start matching these. You can grab a different color if you wanted to, and you can match what those seasons are. So for instance, you can start anywhere you want. If you want to start with spring, maybe you'll have a particular season you want to start with, like autumn. Well, it's autumn. Autumn is otoño. What is spring? Spring is primavera. Summer is verano. And winter is invierno. La primavera trae lluvia. Spring brings rain. En la primavera a lo mejor ves un arco iris. In spring you might see a rainbow. En verano hay más animales. In summer there are more animals. And so here's where we go to actually use our page number 8 to answer the question. Ver la página 8. See page 8. ¿Hay más o menos abejas que mariposas? Are there more or less bees than butterflies? And so here's the 2 different options that you have. And one of the things that I recommend, maybe, I'll grab a different color here, is to go back here, and before you fill this out, is to count what those are. So you have how many bees? So you have bees here, abejas, and then mariposas, butterflies. So you can count your bees first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 bees. And now let's count the butterflies. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have 3. So what do I have? I have more bees than butterflies. So hay más abejas que mariposas. So there are more bees than butterflies. Okay, and if you don't want them to write this out, you can just circle that. You can circle that or underline. You can do either way. But I think it's a good practice to go through that. Muchos animales comienzan a buscar alimentos y cobertizo. Many animals begin to look for food and shelter. And then at the end, you can draw your favorite season. I leave that blank to however you wanted to do that. So that's one way that you can implement seasons, las estaciones, into a fun reading that not just only stops our reading, like you can see, but actually has an after reading activity that you can go as well. In my following ebook here that I have, and again, this is part of our weather and seasons as well, our seasons and weather ebook that you can see in our shop. And this one is the one that is free if you are a subscriber. And what I talk about here is bilingual weather activities, actividades del tiempo. So these are different ways that you can actually see weather. Weather is to see what type of day you have and what type of clothing you might see or might use. So let's begin. In autumn, I use a coat. The coat keeps me warm. En otoño yo uso un abrigo. El abrigo me mantiene caliente. In winter, I use a hat, boots, and gloves. They keep me warm. En invierno yo uso un gorro, unas botas y unos guantes. Ellos me mantienen caliente. In spring, I use a raincoat and umbrella. They keep me dry. En primavera yo uso un poncho y un paraguas. Ellos me mantienen seca. In summer, I use short sleeve shirt. The shirt keeps me cool. En verano yo uso una camisa de manga corta. La camisa me mantiene fresco. And then at the very end has a very cute activity here where you can actually talk about, going back to your story here, is what is that type of clothing that you want to wear. And if you want to just make it emphasize, during winter, I might not want to use shorts and t-shirt because it is too cold. I want to keep warm. And in the summer, I want to keep cool. And I want to use, of course, a different type of clothing. So here are different types that you can see here. And I'm going to use a different color here of the different ways that you can experience weather. En invierno, in winter, like we saw in here, in winter, what type of weather you have? Hace frío. So here we can match that hace frío. Then in fall or in autumn, what type of weather that you might have? Está lluvioso, está soleado, hace calor. Here we want to say that está soleado. En primavera, as you can see, you start using maybe some apparel that keeps you dry. Of course, like an umbrella or raincoat, right? So está lluvioso. And then in summer is when it gets really, really hot, right? Depending on where you live, right, too? But that is when it's very, very hot. Hace calor. So notice all the different types of ways that you can experience weather, the type of clothing that you have, and actually the type of seasons that the kiddos can experience as well. So these are great ways to do that. And as you read more in the blog, of course, I have more ideas on weather and seasons that can take the learning a little bit deeper with some graphing, with some comparison and contrast that you can do as well. And that just takes it to another level of learning that it can be very, very helpful. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you join me for another fun bilingual learning, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.